Remember those cold winter nights when you craved these warm summer days? This slow, sweet season when the sun stays out late and long walks on the beach? Sometimes I fear that the end of summer gets lost in the anticipation of fall, and I want to make the time to cherish these last few weeks of sandy swimsuits and screen doors, the hum of cicadas and fans whirring at night, the beautiful goodbye of summer. I want to take in all of the little things, make an occasion out of every day. Like taking the time to prepare myself a fancy breakfast outside, complete with fresh lemonade and a good book, to just soak up the morning sun, the wildflowers in the garden.
Couldn't find it in your eyes, but I'm sure it's written all over my face. Surprise, surprise.
August is just like the Nancy Meyers month, in my opinion. It is the month of beach rom-coms and making the most of those last few weeks of summer. So that's what I'm doing this weekend. I want to get my journal and go to the beach and do some planning. Start planning for September, one of the greatest months of the year. And then go to a cute little beach town and explore, go to antique stores. I think I'm going to visit an old mansion. And then I really want to go peach picking. I've never gone peach picking. I think it would be so fun to go and then come home and make pie with the fresh peaches I picked. Watch some cozy Nancy Meyers movies, read some delightful, charming books, just have the most summery 90s day. All right, it's time to get dressed for the beach.
Salt air and the rust on your door. I never needed anything more, or whispers of are you sure? Never have I ever before, but I can see it's lost in the memory. August slipped away into a moment in time, 'cause it was never mine. And I can see it's twisted in bed sheets. August slipped away like a bottle of wine, 'cause you were never mine.
Welcome to Bristol, Rhode Island, a dreamy coastal town. Of course, I had to first start with antique stores to drool over copper pots that I hope to fill my cottage kitchen with someday. This town was so delightful. It was filled with little cafes and old houses. I could walk the streets for hours just looking at all the beautiful porches, the old clocks, the main street lined with lots and lots of flowers. I love exploring old mansions and getting a glimpse into the family life of the past. Such beautiful views and different architectural styles and features. I think any visit requires cosplaying as a rich lady hosting grand parties for her friends she's always judging.
You can just picture a party here. Imagine you're hosting here. So nice to see you, Bertha. Oh, Esther, were you looking for pictures of Travel 1828 Part 2? It actually happened right here. I got words of... Oh my god, it says works of. These are my private woods. I use them for any matter of reasons. Sometimes I like to take a stroll out here and decide, should we have the raspberry jelly with supper tonight or the plum cream tart? Just when the poor people get too loud, I just like to come out to my private woods. Aubergine asked for my hand last night and I said, Aubergine, do you even have a steamship? Anyways, these are my private meadows. I wish you had one, Gloria. Don't you feel poor, Gloria? Don't you, Gloria?
I do.
Simply, Gloria, what do you do all day without a bamboo garden? Not even one bamboo, Gloria?
Darling, you send me. I know you send me. Darling, you send me. Honest you do, honest you do, honest you do. Whoa, you thrill me. I know you thrill me. Darling, you thrill me, honest you do. At first I thought it was infatuation, but ooh, it's lasted so long.
Should we do the belly con rap?
Myself wanting
Have you ever seen anything so beautiful?
and take you home. Whoa, you send me. I know you send me. I know you send me. Honest you do. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I needed the shelter of someone's arms. There you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs. There you were. With sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion. I want to stop and thank you, baby. I want to stop and thank you, baby. Yes, I do. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Feels so fine. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I close my eyes at night, wondering where would I be without you in my life. Everything I did was just a bore. Everywhere I went, seems I'd been there before. But you're bright enough for me all of my days.
While the pie's in the oven, I thought I would share some end of summer themed books and movies that I think really fit into the Nancy Meyers universe. For movies, these are some of my favorite movies. Like Nancy Meyers movies, they are centered around food, family, and relationships, and feature really beautiful interiors and lush cinematography. They're all foreign language films and just totally transport me to different places around the world that I would love to visit. The first is A Tale of Autumn by Eric Rohmer. This is the perfect end of summer movie. It really captures that feeling right before fall when it starts to get really cozy and you need to put a sweater on at night. This is my favorite Rohmer film. It's the one that feels most like a screwball comedy. It's set in the Rhone Valley about a widowed winemaker who is kind of shy and reserved, and different people are trying to set her up and find her a man. There's sort of a Shakespearean comedic element to it. There's a lot of misunderstanding and human folly, and different characters pretending to be different people, and things just get all mixed up in a very delightful way. It's so beautifully shot. I'm obsessed with their houses. There's a lot of kitchen inspiration. They're always eating these beautiful fresh meals outside in the golden sunlight. It's just such a delight. Young Hearts is a Belgian coming-of-age film about a boy who lives out in the countryside and starts to develop feelings for the new cool city kid who's just moved from Brussels. This is one of the sweetest, most heartwarming movies I've ever seen, but it's not saccharine or schmaltzy or overdone. It reminds me of Schitt's Creek or Heated Rivalry in terms of how the queer love story is handled. It's really positive, really beautifully crafted. It's all about characters discovering parts of themselves and opening themselves up to the world. It's such a beautiful movie about family, growing up, self-discovery, and it's that perfect like back to school end of summer feeling. This movie made me want to spend a summer in the Belgian countryside. They bike everywhere, they swim in the lake, they go on hiking trips, they play games in beautiful old abandoned houses. It's so charming and delightful, but there's also such a substance and weight to the story. Absolutely would recommend. Near Uruguay is a French film from the 70s about 3 friends who go to stay in a seaside villa for the last few weeks of summer. And that's literally it. And it's like 2.5 hours long, and it's an absolute blast. There's a dynamic here with female friendship that I feel like is rarely captured on film. Just the level of silliness. They are constantly giggling, they'll spill things or break things and just laugh about it for like 15 minutes. They play on the beach, they decide what to make for dinner, they make dinner, they go out, they meet boys. It's such a fun, engaging slice of life movie. It's so focused on life's simple joys and just time spent with friends and those last fleeting moments of summer and how those moments live on in our memory. It's very sweet and cozy. It's set at the beginning of September, so it has this early autumnal beach feel, and it's just so wonderful. And lastly, for movies, Little Forest. This is a Korean film. It was my favorite movie from my spring watch list. This movie just feels like a warm hug. It has some of the most beautiful food cinematography I've ever seen. It's about a girl who fails to pass the national teacher exam, so she leaves the city and goes back to her childhood home in the countryside and starts to reconnect with her absent mother through the recipe she taught her as a child. I'm always going to love movies where characters reconnect with themselves through living off the land. Like, when do I get to move back home and grow fruit with my childhood friends and stay up late picnicking on rivers talking about our feelings? Like, that is the dream. I want to try every recipe she makes in this movie. I want to grow everything she grows in this movie. It takes place over all the different seasons, so perfect for when you're just starting to anticipate fall and winter, which are my favorite seasons. There's definitely a melancholy tone. It's a little bittersweet, and I think it just makes it all that more life-giving. It's just such a like cleansing movie. And now for books. These books also have similar themes as Nancy Meyers' movies, kind of focused on women aging, the contrast between younger and older women, strained marriages, family dramas. They're books I can picture Nancy Meyers characters reading, like on a porch with a glass of wine on a summer evening. I tried to pick things that are similarly atmospheric but a little bit more substantive. I really enjoy escapist movies, but I like books that have a little bit more like meat on their bones. So first up we have The Wedding, which I've been reading. It's set on Martha's Vineyard in the 1950s at the end of summer. It's about the Oval, which is an insular Black elite community, and is particularly about the Cole family who is preparing for the wedding of their daughter to a white man. The stories that I typically read about society are just focused on class, and the intersection of race in this novel just makes it so much more interesting and insightful. And it's such a specific examination of this one community at this one time, but speaks so broadly to Black history in the US and the dynamics of family, race, and society. The writing is really lovely and elegant. There's definitely difficult subject matter in this book. It's not a charmed version of life, but I would highly recommend it. It's really well done and very readable. Bonjour, Tristesse is a 1950s French novel. It's about a teenage girl who's having an indulgent summer vacation with her father on the French Riviera and his much younger girlfriend. And it is interrupted by a family friend, Anne, who comes to stay, who is much older and more cultured and more serious and kind of ruins their languorous lifestyle. I think it's so cool that she wrote this as a teenager. I feel like the teen girl perspective in the 50s is very hard to come by in the literary canon. It's quite short. It's the perfect thing to read in like one sitting on the beach. It's a very lush novel. They're swimming, they're sunning, they're having affairs, they're going to the casino, they're sleeping until 1 and having beautiful breakfasts out on the deck. But it's also a very interesting coming of age story. I think it works really well as this like perfect little allegory about kind of teen disillusionment and generational divides that were emerging in the 50s and 60s. You may be familiar with Edith Wharton, Age of Innocence, Ethan Frome, but can I recommend you the highly underrated Twilight Sleep? It's a 1920s jazz age modernist satirical novel about a socialite family in New York who is kind of coming apart at the seams. This is a dizzying novel. There's not a lot of plot. You're in the heads of these dysfunctional characters who are all using different things to numb themselves and are trying to achieve a twilight sleep, which is this drowsy kind of amnesiac state where you don't feel pain. If you like books like The Great Gatsby, this is honestly probably more of a scathing critique of the jazz age, but I think it's so prescient and relevant to today. It offers real food for thought about the modern inclination to make life easier and more efficient and to add more disconnect and escape. And generally speaking, I don't think we're talking about Edith Wharton enough, so this is one you definitely should pick up. The Light Years is the first in the Cazalet Chronicles, which is Elizabeth Jane Howard's series about the Cazalet family. It's set in the summer of 1937. The three brothers have returned home to the countryside to spend time with their family, so they bring their wives and kids. They do all kinds of quaint English countryside activities. They go on picnics, they go swimming, they play games. But beneath all of that is a really compelling portrait of a family navigating a very specific period in history, with one war over and another war looming on the horizon. And it gets into the difficult experience of motherhood, the very limiting domestic roles that women had in the 1930s. There's romance. If you like period stories that are focused on domestic life and personal relationships like I do, this is the perfect one to pick up in August. And the second one picks up in the fall, so I'm planning to read that once fall arrives. I think there's a number of books in the series and it covers a real period in history, so you really get to like grow with the family, which I really look forward to. Okay, those are my recommendations for indulging in the end of summer, Nancy Meyers coated August vibes. Now I'm going to check on my pie. Hopefully it tastes good.
You're back beneath the sun, wishing I could write my name on.
I think it's the best pie ever made.
When you're back at school, I remember thinking I had you, but
That's kind of fall.
Not
as spooky. A Summer to Die by Lois Lowry. I really like the cover, but that sounds intense. You ever read Nanny McPhee?
Never read it.
Classic kids book.